Morning, and I want to welcome you into Sports Choice Plus live stream. And I want to welcome you guys this morning. We're going to be talking a little bit about the face of the NBA. When you think about the face of the NBA, there's so many potential components that go into who's popular, whose shoes are selling, whose game is more sexier to the crowd, to the masses. When you think about it, the faces of the NBA have always been someone that's either glamorous for ads, glamorous on the court, their game even translated. It's not many big men that have been the face of the game, but when you think about it, players like a Michael Jordan, players like a Magic Johnson, players like LeBron James, players like John Morant. But I believe the face of the NBA, we're here. And you got to think from the standpoint of the rest of the NBA playoffs and moving forward, you got to think that the face of the NBA goes to Minnesota. A lot of people may not like his off the court situations with the children or the baby mothers or stuff like that, but we have to keep in mind Ant-Man is a generational talent. Anthony Edwards, number 5 shooting guard, out of University of Georgia, Minnesota Timberwolves, he is your face of the NBA. And when you think about this, you have stars like John Morant, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Jokic. A lot of these people are stars, but they don't really hit with the next generation. They don't really hit when you're thinking about all the different generations of people that watch the basketball, and when you think about who's consuming and who's buying up jerseys and things like that, it seems to be Ant-Man at the top. When you think about on the court and you think about his play, Ant-Man comes and brings it every single night. Win, lose, or draw, he comes and brings it every night. He's respected by his peers. His game speaks for itself. And when he's among his peers, like your LeBron Jameses, like your Joel Embiid's, like your Stephen Curry's, like your Anthony Davis's, when he's in those settings where he's in a group, everything points to him being the guy. He has the confidence, and we've seen the videos of him with President Obama and around other NBA players, and he talks about he's the man, he's the truth. And you also think about, what it means to be the face of the NBA. You won't be perfect all the time. It's rare that you'll have a LeBron James type figure where he doesn't really get in trouble, or he doesn't really have off the court antics going on, or picture perfect type backgrounds. But it's Anthony Edwards. And you also have to keep in mind that this is going to be moving forward the face of the league. Not only is he on endorsements, not only is he on the biggest stages for the playoffs, but he's whipping the former superstars series by series. When you think of what he did to LeBron, and he after the win, Lakers in 5, Lakers in 5. Like he's oh, okay, y'all said Lakers in 5, Minnesota Timberwolves in 5. You see what he's doing to the Golden State Warriors and how he was able to beat them with or without Steph Curry. So at this point, you got to keep in mind the NBA is headed in a different direction. It's getting younger. LeBron and Steph Curry and KD, they're the elder statesmen now of the NBA. They're on their way out. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a great face of the league, but he's not American. He's not somebody that's American that you would say, okay, we can hold our hat to it. And you got to think his English has gotten better, but it's just not something that the kids are buying into. It's just not something that the public is reaching to and saying, you know what, we're going to do this and that, and we're going to buy these, or we're going to buy these shoes from Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's Ant-Man. So the face of the NBA essentially is going to be Ant-Man. When you're looking at the NBA playoffs right now, who galvanizes right now better than Ant-Man? When you think about the Indiana Pacers that's left, the Knicks that's left, the Oklahoma City Thunder that's left, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, what player off of all these teams is the most interesting? It's Ant-Man. So regardless of how we feel about it, the New York Knicks has Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, and you're looking at Indiana has Tyrese Halliburton, and they have not really anybody that you can say, okay, is going to be the face. But you got to think Oklahoma City has Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. But we're talking about Ant-Man. Minnesota doesn't really have anybody on there that you would say is marketing like that besides Ant-Man. But I think moving forward, the NBA has a gold mine in Anthony Edwards. Not only with shoes, not only with endorsements, not only with jerseys, but personality. I think when you see Ant-Man get up on the podium after a win or a loss, it's the same person. No matter where you go, it's the same person. They're selling likeness. They're selling images. They're selling, you could be just like Anthony Edwards. You could be just like this. You could dunk like him. You could wear shoes like him. You could wear a jersey like him. And he ingratiates himself with the public. So going back and forth with the hecklers at the game. He's balling out. He's on the scores table talking trash. It's Anthony Edwards. So from the standpoint who's taking it all, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. From the standpoint when you think of Indiana versus New York, I have Indiana taking that because I feel like New York has a deep starting five. But after you get to the starting five, you don't have real depth on there. When you're looking also at the other side, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a great MVP candidate. But you got to think, after Shea, if he doesn't have a perfect game or he doesn't get like close to his goal every single night, they don't usually win like that. The high volume shots, the missing of the shots. And you got to think about this. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander disappeared several times versus the Nuggets. His teammates bailed him out. Against the Minnesota Timberwolves, you're not going to have that opportunity. You got Naz Reid that can score. You got Julius Randle that can score. DiVincenzo that can score. Mike Conley that can score. Anthony Edwards that can score. You got a lot of guys that can offensively put the pressure on you, and they have a lot of length. You got multiple 7-footers or either 6'11" or 6'10" guys on the Timberwolves. So when Shea Gillis comes in and he's trying to do those layups, it's trees. It's trees. You got to think about this. When he goes up, he's going up and he's going to have to adjust his shot and he's going to have to go left or right. The Timberwolves play great team defense. They don't have to be individually great one-on-one. And it starts with Ant-Man. It starts with your superstar. And think about this. When LeBron was in the game versus the Lakers, he was trying to guard LeBron. Anthony Edwards wasn't ducking smoke. He's up in LeBron's face saying, come on, no screen. Come on, look, play me straight up. Ant-Man is taking people one-on-one. Ant-Man is taking the defensive assignments and offensively want to go at those same people. It's the face of the NBA. He's a bad man. He's a bad man. And when you think about this, I think overall, Anthony Edwards is going to show a lot of people. Last year, they ran out of gas. Last year, they ran out of gas against Luka and Kyrie, and it was 1 versus 5. Karl Anthony Towns didn't show up. He showed up in one game, the one game that they were competitive. But outside of that, who helped Ant-Man last year when he was trying to face Luka and he was trying to face Kyrie and he was getting double teamed and triple teamed and nobody could hit a shot? Well, this year, you have Julius Randle that can get to the party, that can get to the post, get the ball and do something with it. DiVincenzo off the bench can do something with it. Mike Conley, depending on if he's starting or if he comes off the bench, he can do something with it. You got to think, Naz Reid starts shooting threes, hitting threes. What do you do with Rudy Gobert? Because you can't move him around. Defensively, what is Oklahoma City going to do? Is Hartenstein going to put more pressure on him to play defense? No. Rudy's going to sit in the middle and camp. While everybody else plays their defensive role and pushes them into Rudy, he gets the block. He gets the shot where he doesn't block it, but he makes it hard for you to shoot, and all of a sudden you're missing. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the team of this year, I believe, that's going to win the title. And Ant-Man is the face of the NBA moving forward. With that being said, you got to ask yourself, the Celtics with Jason Tatum going down, that was essentially the face, quote unquote. He's going to be out for 6, 7, possibly 8 months, possibly a year. We don't know. But you got to think, the timetable for a superstar to be born is now. LeBron James is on the end. Let's face it. He's been the face of the league for 20 plus years, 22 plus years. From the standpoint of Steph Curry's been the face of the NBA for a couple of years, sharing the spotlight with LeBron. KD's been a partial face of the NBA, a couple of years. But most importantly, I think Ant-Man has the firepower to be able to do it on his own. They tried to give it to Ja Morant, but Ja Morant can't control himself. Ja Morant wants to do shooting celebrations. He wants to have guns. He wants to show you how gangster he is. Go ahead, boom, 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 bang, bang, bang. That's not going to last. And yes, Ant-Man's not perfect off the basketball court. We've already talked about this. We already talked about the situations. It's none of our business what he does off the court. But on the court, when you're talking about game, when you're talking about personality, when you're talking about the ability to sell jerseys, excitement, experience, the flash, the pizzazz, the pop, kids want to be like Ant-Man. When you see him walking in with the press conference with the glasses on, kids want to be like that. When you see the Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys and you see the kids running up to him that want his autograph, the kids want to be like him. He's making it cool to be in Minnesota. He's making it cool to be a Timberwolf. When you think about this, Justin Jefferson was mic'd up, and I think he had J.J. McCarthy with him, and they were going like to the Minnesota Timberwolves game. They were excited to see Ant-Man. He gave him electricity. The greetings that he gave him, the handshakes he gave him, just who he is as a person, it rubs off on people in a positive manner. And with the Minnesota Timberwolves being what they are, remember, Ant-Man spoke out about his teammates earlier this season. He talked about them needing to be more tougher. He talked about taking responsibility for his actions on the basketball court. He talked about how the locker room needed to get tougher. He talked about these things. He's calling his own teammates out and holding them accountable, and he's able to be held accountable as well. With that being said, I think the coaching staff is ready to coach a great series. I think that the playoffs have been great so far. I think we have 2 series that could go 7 games because the Knicks and Pacers, I believe, is going to be a knockdown, drag-out series. I believe that the Indiana Pacers have what it takes to knock off the Knicks in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. But from the standpoint, the Western Conference Finals is going to be tricky because Oklahoma City Thunder is the number 1 seed, and they have tricky. When you think about the ability to score in bunches, in groves, and not have big names on your team, they're the guys. They have a lot of the blue-collar guys that do their job, and they're quiet. They don't really talk a lot. They don't really do a lot of trash talking on social media. They don't really do a lot outside of what their normal behavior is. So, what do you guys feel? Who do you feel like is the face of the NBA? I think it's Ant-Man moving forward, Anthony Edwards. And also, I think that the title moves through them. So you guys let me know what you feel. And also, thank you for joining my live stream, folks. Until next time, this is Stephen here with Sports Choice Plus signing off. Y'all have a good one.